Hello everyone, welcome to Tottenham Hotspur's training ground for this media conference with new call-up Alex Scott. As ever, we can keep it initially to 2 questions per person, and then we'll come back to you if we do have time. This section will be live, and then at the end we'll have a short section bargained until 10:30pm this evening. Rob, you start us?
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Nice to see you. Look, it's an extraordinary story, an extraordinary rise for you. 6 years ago, you were playing non-league football over in Guernsey. You're here now in the senior England squad. That's wow. That's a heck of a meteoric rise. How do you feel about it, I suppose, is the most obvious question.
Yeah, obviously, over the moon. It's, everything you dream for. And, back then, like you said, 6 years ago, I was playing, non-league football for Guernsey. And yeah, I wasn't even sure I was going to make it as a football player. So to now be in the England senior team, it's a dream come true. And yeah, I'm just grateful for all the coaches, my family, and everyone who's almost helped me get to this point today.
You wear the number 8 on your back for Bournemouth, of course, but you have played a little bit deeper. You played as a 6 as well. It's a big discussion we're having around the England setup right now. Who's a 6, who's an 8? Which do you prefer? Which do you think you're best suited to?
To be honest, I probably prefer playing as a number 8. I feel like you can do a bit more of everything, but to be honest, wherever I'm put, I'm more than happy to play. Like you said, I've played 6 before in the Euros. I was a little bit deeper, and Elliot was further forward. I've played as a number 10, so it's good to have maybe all 3 of them positions where you feel comfortable and you feel you can play. But for me, I'd say my preferred position is a number 8.
Yeah, Alex.
Hi, Alex. You just mentioned it there that you played with Elliot before in the 21s. How much do you think that experience of playing in a high pressurised situation in a tournament will help you coming into this England squad?
Yeah, for sure it's going to help, and it's obviously good that played with Elliot. I knew a few of the other boys as well through tournaments and in the younger age group, so all of them sorts of things help. I think obviously it was high pressure going into that tournament, especially with what the previous group done, and they went and won it. So yeah, there was a lot of pressure on us to do so. And yeah, of course we delivered. But yeah, it's been good. I've been in the England setup now since I was 18. So it's familiar for me, coming away with the team. So it's been easy to almost settle in.
It's always a good time to break into the England squad, but now is probably one of the best, the last squad of the year, and then just one camp before Thomas Tuchel will name the squad for the World Cup. Have you allowed yourself to dream of maybe making that squad and being there next summer?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think it's really sunk in too much yet. Obviously, that's the dream for everyone, especially the players here, is to be in that World Cup squad. But to be honest, I just want to come in, show what I'm about, and show the coaches here and what I can do and how I can play in an England shirt. So, I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be here. Of course, the World Cup is definitely a dream of mine, and I've just got to take it one step at a time. Enjoy this week now. If I get the chance to play, hopefully impress and show what I'm capable of.
Congratulations. Iraola, obviously full of praise for you. I remember the Manchester City, Bristol City match in which Pep Guardiola said you were unbelievable in 2019, but 3 different knee injuries in 2 seasons. How bleak did you start to feel about your career, and who helped you get through that? Yeah,
it was definitely difficult. Obviously, I had a great time at Bristol City where, suffered no injuries whatsoever. I played, most of the games there, and then you finally get your dream move to the Premier League, and as soon as you go in, you're out for 2-3 months. So that was tough to take. And then, almost since then, it's been injury on injury. I had obviously the bad knee injury last year, and, things were starting to look on the up. And then I go and break my jaw the last 2 games of the season. So it's been tough. The injuries have been tough. I've had great people around me, obviously my family being number 1, and, all the staff at Bournemouth, my friends as well, just getting around me and making sure I'm okay at all times and pushing me, to be honest. But yeah, the club were brilliant. Anyone there I could, speak to if I, was feeling down or not feeling great at all. So yeah, they definitely helped there. But at times it was definitely tough. And I'm glad I've come out the other end and finally getting a run of games with no injuries. That's the most important thing. I'm just happy to be, playing football again.
Certainly taking your chance. An outstanding season. It's quite a commute though from Guernsey. So is it a special moment for you and your sister over those many journeys that you made to St George's Park, having a Lioness on your team? How much has that helped you, and how happy are they all for you now?
Yeah, I mean, growing up we would fly over every weekend together. she'd have her games for Hampshire, and I'd be playing for Southampton as a kid. So, every weekend, one of our parents and ourselves were flying over, and it took a lot, especially for our parents. The amount of money they were paying and the amount of dedication they put in to for us to dream to be footballers. It's a credit to them, and we're just happy now we're both playing at the top level. Obviously, she's flying for Man United and for the Lionesses as well. So, I couldn't be prouder of her as well.
Hi, Alex. Congratulations. Faye from TalkSport. You said that you wanted to impress and show what you're all about. What one thing would you like to show Thomas Tuchel that you can do, and what sets you apart?
I think, I just want to come in and be brave and play, the way I know I can play. Obviously, it can be a daunting experience to come into the senior team for your first time, but, it's important I just go out there and show, the ability I have and the ability I know I can produce. So I'm looking forward to getting out there, getting to know the players, getting to know the staff, and it's going to be a good week. Fingers crossed I can, play some part in the games, and just show, what I'm capable of.
Thomas Tuchel highlighted the relationship that you had with Elliott Anderson in the summer in the Euros. What is so special about that relationship? Why do you play so well together?
To be honest, I don't really know. We just understand each other very well. We're close off the pitch, and it's a massive help having him here. When I come in for my first camp, it's nice to have familiar faces that you can bond with. I just feel like in the summer, the way we play it suited each other quite well. We knew when he was bombing on that I would sit back, and likewise when I would push forward, he almost knew when to sit. And he's an unbelievable player, and I think everyone has seen what he's done in an England shirt and obviously in a Forest shirt as well. Shows the level he's at. So it's great to have him here, and I look forward to hopefully playing with him again.
Alex, it's a pity the World Cup's not in Slovakia, because you won the under-19s there, you won the under-21s there. I mean, you can't, even though this is the first time you've been in the senior squad, you come in with a winning mentality, don't you?
Yeah, and that's the main thing. I think, especially for all us, younger players coming through, we've been to tournaments as well, and we know what it's like. Obviously, not at a senior level, but the pressures of being there. And for myself, I've won 2 tournaments in the youth teams here, so. That pressure, and what it's going to be like being away for that amount of time. So I think that definitely helps. And when you come to the senior team, obviously it's a whole different step up. But it's it's a challenge, and it's something that, like I said, we all watch the tournaments growing up as kids, and that's where you want to be at the end of the day. So hopefully if I impress and show what I can do, I'd love to hopefully be in that plane in the summer.
Which World Cup do you particularly remember growing up, and what was it like in the household? Were you all gathered round? Did you have a shirt on of a particular player?
I remember the early ones for me were the 2010, 2014, but the one I remember properly when I was a bit older would be the 2018 World Cup, where it was very successful, not too far away from winning it, and then that was the one where I feel like everyone was dreaming. Obviously Trippier scored the free kick, and you're watching it with your friends, your family. Drinks are flying everywhere. It's one of them experiences, and obviously that one, and then the Euros that followed that are probably the 2 that I remember most fondly.
Ian. Hi Alex, Ian from 5 Live. You've just made a lot of people in this room feel very old when you're talking about the 2018 World Cup, I've got to say. Can you just tell me about the initial call-up as well? Because I understand you're a Tottenham fan as a boy growing up, so coming into this building here today for the first time with England seniors, but what was your initial reaction as well when you first got the call up?
It's a crazy feeling. It's one it's so hard to explain. I think you're at home and you get the call, and the nerves are through the roof. You don't know what the manager's going to say. You set yourself up for it, but you don't really know what's going to happen. But obviously when I got the call and he told me I was going to be in the squad, it was just an unbelievable feeling. I couldn't stop smiling, and then you get off the phone and you're telling your family, your friends, everyone, and they're obviously over the moon and can't believe it as well. So it's a feeling that I'm obviously never going to forget, and I'm just grateful that he given me the opportunity.
And you've talked about the adversity you faced with your injury problems. What did you learn the most about yourself during that time? And then did you approach this season with a different mindset after the success with the Euros? Yeah,
for sure. It's about myself. It was more that, I can get through this and I can get myself back playing and back fit. I think after the last knee injury I had last season, I think I came back into the team and played 5-6 games in a row, because before that I was looking at it and I hadn't played more than 2 games in a row. So I never really got into that rhythm of playing, and I feel like when I overcome that injury, started playing a bit more, it was almost to prove to myself that I can do it at the top level. The Euros definitely helped in the summer. Coming into this season gave me a lot of confidence, and I came back to pre-season and I wanted to fight for a start position, which I didn't have too many opportunities last season to start games. And then started the season pretty well, and I feel like a lot of that comes from the confidence I took from winning the Euros.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Hi, Alex. Just on that number 8 position you play, who are the players that you look at and that you admire and you try and take things from in your own game?
I think the main ones for me are Pedri is probably one of my favourite players in the world. Obviously Jude here, it's maybe a bit more advanced, but these are the type of players that we look at, especially growing up. I mean, I think Jude's the same age as me, but feels like he's been around for about 10 years. But yeah, definitely those two are the main ones I look at. I think they've been doing it at the top level for so long now and won countless things for their clubs. But yeah, both top players, and you almost take parts of their game and try and learn from them and look at what they're doing and put it into your own game. Obviously, Declan Rice as well is another one, doing it in the Premier League. So it's good to see what he's doing every week, and then hopefully take parts of his game and put it into my own is the main objective.
And obviously, when you first came through, you had that nickname of the Guernsey Grealish. How different do you feel your game is from then to now, and what's changed about you from when you had that nickname?
I think I've definitely matured as a player. Learned a lot more about the game, especially defensively. I think at Bristol City when I was 18, 19, it was a lot of freedom, and the manager there gave me a lot of freedom to go out on the pitch and almost do what I wanted. And then you sign to Bournemouth in the Premier League, and the tactical stance on things is a whole different world, and it took me quite a while to adapt to that, and I found it tough at first. Got there in the end, but I think definitely the maturity and my defensive capabilities now are a lot better than what they were back then.
Yeah, 3 more in the live section. Rob, Carrion.
We saw the great moment where you told your teammates, your squad at Bournemouth, that you'd been called up to the England squad, and it was such a nice reaction. But it said to me that that's a family. It made me realise just how close you are as a squad. And obviously, you've surprised an awful lot of people in the way you performed in the Premier League as a team this season. How much has that surprised you, and how much has that given you the opportunity to be where you are right now?
Yeah, it's massive for us. I think the squad and the team we have there, and just the whole family culture at Bournemouth is massive. I think we're all in it together, and we're also happy for each other when one another succeeds. And I think that video definitely shows that, how happy they all were for me. And I went in that morning. I told a few people that were in early, and then I saw the cameraman was in the gym waiting, so I knew that I was going to have to get up and do that speech. So I was already thinking about what I was going to say. But no, the team there is massive, and it shows this season how we started. I think how close we are on the pitch and definitely off the pitch as well. We're always together, even away from the training ground. We're meeting up, going for lunch, going for coffees and stuff. So it's good to have that, and it definitely helps us on the pitch to succeed.
You've mentioned a couple of names there, and as a young Tottenham fan, Harry Kane as well. Have you had any particular advice from Harry, Jude, or Declan, who we know loves putting an arm around a young player?
I've not had too much advice off them yet. Obviously, we've only been here for a short time. But yeah, like I said, Harry Kane, obviously massive when I was growing up, one of my favourite players, and the other two as well I've looked up to for plenty of years. So it'd be nice to get out there, we'd train with them today and, have conversations, learn more about them as people and learn about them as players as well. And yeah, I'll be looking to like I said before, hopefully take parts of their game and learn as much as I can in this week that I'm here with them.
2 major titles with England already. Can you tell us what improved you or what you took from each as a player each time, and how much that helps your confidence now coming into this camp? How much those titles improved you at each time?
Yeah, I think definitely with the 19s one, that was almost my first experience of a tournament with England. So yeah, I was just happy to be there, to be honest. And, wasn't sure if I was going to play too much. I'd only just come into the group for one camp with the under 18. So yeah, I was happy to be a part of that squad. And once you're there and once you're in it, you're just enjoying it every game that comes. You just want to win. And like I said, I've been lucky with the England groups I've had. Like the tightness of the groups has been, immense really. And we've been, very close off the pitch in both of the groups. The 19s want to win it. I think you learn a lot about yourself, playing wise and playing in the tournament format. And I feel like a few of us, we definitely took that into the under 21s tournament and helped us massively because, result, we ended up winning it. So yeah, it's amazing to be playing in tournaments. I'm grateful for those opportunities that I've had, and hopefully, if I get the chance, I can take it into a senior tournament.
Hi, Alex. A slightly different one. The BBC have been asking people in football what rule they would change if they could rewrite the rules of football. So, if you could, is there anything you'd change?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'd say I think you need to be rewarded for worldy goals. I don't know in what way, but if you score an unbelievable goal, it needs to be rewarded more than just a singular goal for me. I don't know who would decide that because the opposition team will probably say it's not a worldie, but yeah, I think that's probably a rule I could change if I could.
Thank you.